Welcome to a brand new episode of Sequel Rights, the podcast where we take a look at the franchises that make you go, they made how many of those? 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 And we give each and every sequel a fair trial. My name is Justin Camps, and I'm here with
Elizabeth Ellie.
And
Tyler Hymanson. Sorry, I'm just laughing a little bit because Justin so rarely flubs the intro. That was a special treat for everybody.
I don't know. I just tripped over the word episode or something. Yeah.
And we are also joined by a special guest today, my friend, professional animator and dinosaur nerd, Lindsey Lydecker.
What a beautiful intro. Thank you.
Yes. Friend, animator, dinosaur nerd. I mean, the three things that you need.
That's all you need to know. There's nothing else.
It's really important that we have your dinosaur knowledge for this episode of the podcast.
It's true.
We should invite my husband because he actually went on like archaeological digs a couple summers and knows every name of every dinosaur.
Oh man, I just want to hear Zach yelling in from the corner about how we're getting the names wrong.
Yeah, he corrects me every time. It's great.
That's awesome. Well, we're here yet again. I don't know why I'm already sounding like exasperated, but we're only
it's only the fourth
4.
one.
Yeah. Only number 4.
Many to go.
We're talking The Land Before Time 4, the Journey Through the Mists. Is it Through the Mists or Into the Mists?
I think it's Through the Mists plural.
Yeah, Journey Through the Mists.
Journey Through the Mists.
Yeah,
I had a thought, like, if I had, infinite time, I was going to make a supercut of everybody going, or, in the movie, and that would have been really funny. But
I just keep thinking of, like, the Muppet movie gag, like, it's the Mists, yes.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Well, before we get too far into things here, Eliz, where can people reach out to us?
Yes, send us emails about your Land Before Time thoughts to sequelrights@gmail.com, or you can find us on social media on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube at Sequel Rights.
And please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. 5 stars goes a long way to have other people find the podcast. I would like it if you could leave your review in the dinosaur language where you make cumbersome analogies for everyday things that we know, but just use different words and kind of not try. That's really one of the staples of these movies, and I really want to see your creativity out there.
Yes. That would be amazing. Well, you know what? Why don't we dive in and see what Littlefoot and his sometimes racist friends are up to this time?
The fun, magic, and excitement of Littlefoot and all his dinosaur buddies has returned in their 4th and most exciting adventure, The Land Before Time 4, Journey Through the Mists. In this wondrous tale, Littlefoot sets out for the elusive Valley of Mists to find a magic golden flower that could cure his sick grandfather.
Well, he'll get better, won't he?
I don't know, Littlefoot.
Joining him in this exciting adventure are his pals Sarah, Ducky, Petrie, and Spike, and a newfound friend, Allie.
Hello, Allie. Hi. She's a girl.
This beautifully animated and heartwarming story is full of all the splendor, enchantment, and majesty that have made all of the Land Before Time releases so popular with audiences everywhere.
Oh, they're just so popular.
They're so popular and exciting.
All of them.
Yeah, maybe if we say exciting like 3 times in the trailer, people will be like, wow.
Prescribed exciting, yes.
This is pretty exciting. Yeah, I don't know.
So we get another intro of this Universal Animation logo with this plane that flies out and around. And I have not looked this up. I don't know if anybody here knows what's going on with this. Lindsay, I don't know if that's some classic animation thing that I'm just ignorant about that you might know
just
about.
Like the general title, or just like
it's
the
just
airplane.
Like it's this. Yeah, the airplane apparently has a specific origin. I don't know. I think Eliz was talking about maybe she researched this, but
Yes, I am prepared to speak about Jetty, the weak jet plane.
The weak jet plane?
Yeah, because you're weak if it's in your name.
Okay.
I'm going to read briefly from the Mascots fandom website. And I love these fandom and Wikia sites and their ridiculous categories, but this is so short. I'm just going to read it. So, Studio Mascots, Jetty, the weak jet plane. Jetty, the weak jet plane is a jet plane character used as the primary mascot mascot for Universal Cartoon Studios, itself a division of Universal Studios, comma, a Comcast company. She first appeared in the studio's first production logo introduced in 1994. Appearance. Despite her name, Jetty actually appears to be propeller powered. First appearance, 1994. Alias, Jetty, the weak jet plane. Powers, spin around the earth. Tools and weapons, none. And that is the conclusion of the fandom article.
I'm sexist. I assumed it was a man plane. So that's my
As did I.
I need some growth there, but
I
also go ahead.
Oh, I had the opposite thought. I was like, oh, it's a weak jet plane, and they made it a girl.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
how would you have a sad boy plane character and not call it John Travolta?
Oh.
So, yeah,
Call
this
back.
was just created for this logo in 1994. There's no old animation history about it. It just is. And I wasted a lot of time going down a rabbit hole trying to find out more about Jetty.
Mhm.
And there's some whole wiki that is a parody thing called Shires, and it's just fake articles about fake animation things that are not real. And so I spent this whole time trying to determine if this show called Star Skipper and Jetty the Weak Jet Plane was a real show. It is not. And the article was quite thorough, like much more thorough than this article is about Jetty. And so the fake show was the Star Skipper, which is the girl that throws the star in the Paramount animation logo, and Jetty the Weak Jet Plane for some reason together. But it's
So
not.
someone wrote this as if it were real. It's
Right.
not. It's not even a fan fiction. Like I wouldn't even go that far and
Yeah.
wasted your time. And they themselves also wasted their time to write all of that.
They did, and they wrote an episode guide and 2 different theme songs.
What?
And like a history.
This sounds like some animators that were dealing with some long render time.
Yeah, like a cast of all the different, popular voice actors who appeared in it and everything. Like
Wait, they
What
wrote
a
theme songs?
Peculiar thing to do.
they didn't write. They wrote the lyrics.
Oh, damn.
What?
So that's when I started finding that it was not real, because I was like, okay, if there's a song, there's got to be a video. No video, and so I'm like, wait a minute, and then I finally.
Wait a minute, that was the moment.
Wait a minute.
Oh no.
Because I'm
So
like,
you're
why would you
saying
have
that
the
we could
lyrics, but
perpetuate
not a
this,
link to
pass
the
on the curse, waste somebody else's time even
Yeah.
more if we make the video.
But there's
I-
there's such few information about Jetty the Weak Jet Plane that this comes up pretty high when you're searching for her.
Sure.
I have a professor of animation history that I kind of want to send this to and be like, add this to your curriculum.
Yeah.
Be like, wait a minute. Wait.
Tell people it was a really important character. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really important character, an important show, a time of studio synergy, unlike any other.
The first weak jet plane of its kind. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, that's the story. I think she'll be around for quite a while in these logos. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
It's the best part of the movie. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, really, I mean, we've spent so much time talking about that, and because, well, you're about to find out.
Well, we're no longer in space at the start here.
No.
We've moved
We're at a
on.
time before states, countries, and even horses.
I love this list. The guy's like, in a time before Taco Bell and pizzas and yo-yos and thatched roofed cottages. He's like listing out like a million things, and you think like it's gonna go forever. I don't remember what the last thing he says, but it was pretty funny.
Yeah, it wasn't, I mean, horses was really stuck out to me as one of the weird ones. It's just like, okay.
I guess, yeah, you're right. There weren't horses, but
Yeah, you're not wrong. That's so specific.
Yeah.
yeah. They could have listed any animal from the modern
He just
day.
doesn't like horses. Let's be real. He's like, it was a better time. There were no horses.
But yeah, we just get the general kind of like underwater evolution happening, yada yada, and then it's like, you know, it builds up to like, and the greatest thing of all was the dinosaur. We're like, okay, we get it. It's a movie about
do you
dinosaurs.
think that there's people out there that this super boring, like long-winded explanation is like was something that somebody got yelled at of just like, that's blasphemy? There was not dinosaurs. There was Jesus, and there was horses, and there was dinosaurs.
I mean, we'll get into it, but later on, when they greet the new new long necks come and say, "How is your climate?" and they're like, "What?" and like, "Is your climate changing?" And I was like, "Oh, those two words are real close together. Someone's real mad right now." Like, but, yeah.
Anyway, it's another beautiful day in the Great Valley where nobody has learned a lesson ever, and everybody forgets.
Everyone's just chilling, running around.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to the time of the Great Giving.
Yeah. No, they're just like knocking leaves off the trees like nothing happened, and goofing off. And we see that there's apparently some other dinosaurs coming into the valley.
Mm-hmm.
Some other brontosauruses.
Cousins.
Long necks, I
that
guess.
have completely different living habits.
Even though I thought, the whole point of the first movie was that everywhere in the world was so fucked that they only had to go to the Great Valley. That was the only thing left. Nothing about some Mist's land or whatever.
Not just the first movie, the first 3 movies.
Yeah. Also, I thought like the Great Valley was supposed to be super protected and nobody can get in. And now here we have all these movies where there's new people getting in every single time.
Yeah, they're just wandering in.
As long as they're on sharp tooth,
it
and
gets
no one
breached.
cares. Yeah.
The walls have been breached again.
So
But this
quickly.
time it's by friends, I guess.
I told you they got to build a wall, make the Great Valley great again. That's what we were saying last week.
That's true. That's true.
I hate it. No.
We can laugh about
Sarah's
this now.
dad. I want to Photoshop a picture of Sarah's dad with a shirt with a hat that says "Make the Great Valley Great."
Oh, you know what? I did.
100% it's Sarah's dad.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's
Yeah.
who's not even in this movie
Big
at all.
vibes. Big
Yeah, he's not
vibes.
even in this movie.
He got his whole
Yeah, they were like, maybe. What if we try to do a movie without a racist in it?
Yeah,
No,
well,
there's
they
still racism.
they failed
There
at
is.
that immediately. Yeah. Let's deal with racism again. Well, I guess maybe they really need to. They probably really do need to hammer it into people's heads.
They do. They do.
So maybe,
But maybe not in this way.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So these different colored long necks show up, and they do not give 2 shits about everyone at the Great Valley. They like all gather and they're like this.
Welcome to our valley, old one. Yes.
That's what she says. Yes.
Yes.
Well, maybe she would have been nicer if Grandma hadn't been like, "Sup, old one," like right off the
Well,
bat.
I assumed that
Hey,
was
old
like
bat.
yeah. I assumed that was like a hierarchy thing or something, but I don't know.
Not here. It seems aggressive.
Hello, you old person. Yeah. That,
Yeah. Hey, you old son of a bitch. What's going on?
Yeah. Hey, boomer. I mean, wait.
And yeah, she does immediately just start like asking them all these questions, and of course, our dinosaurs, as we know, are stupid, so they're just like, "What? Huh?"
They're like, "Did you have climate change?" And they're like, "Well, there was a time where we almost ran out of water, but we've completely forgot about that as
Yeah,
well."
they're like, nope, no change in the climate here.
No lessons learned.
No
No
fires
takeaways.
or anything that happened. That was, not out of the ordinary.
It's
Yeah.
the valley of no learned lessons is really what it is.
The Valley of Shared Amnesia. Yeah.
It's in the water.
That's right. But yeah, we learned that these are apparently migratory long necks,
Mm-hmm.
and they came from a place that was super nice too, but then it rained too much and everyone got wet, so they wanted to come to the Great Valley. That's the only reason.
And they're so confident that there's going to be more stuff out there, like from their journey that they've seen. They're just like, fucking Great Valley. I don't know. Have you been to Orlando? That's pretty cool.
I did. Yeah. I did like their little story about like other animals moved in, and then the animals moved into the trees where we used to eat, and now we can't because there's eyes in the trees.
Right. It's really like, and then you find out that it's basically just like small rats and one alligator.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to talk about why this villain is dumb, but it's not scary. It's literally one alligator one bird and some rats.
Yeah, when they go there later, I was like, this place doesn't seem so bad. I don't know. I think they could have figured it out. I don't
You
know.
just got that one guy and a bird. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like we could have handled this.
Especially because these kids are so good at murdering things with rocks.
Big things.
They're back onto that. I would like to know, like, this movie came out in 1996. Like, who do you think the producers were, or as their songwriters, like, let's do this. I know it's 1996 is an animated movie. Let's write a song about the circle of life and let's put it front and center on our movie.
I mean, do you think it was just like a big middle finger to Disney, or is it a thing where they already had it and like it was too late to change it, maybe because of the long lead time needed or something?
Well,
I like to imagine that they called Elton John and he was like, no, sorry.
They 100% called the song Circle of Life, and then they're like, yeah, let's call it Grandma's Lullaby instead.
Oh, is it called that?
Yeah, it's called
Grandma's Lullaby.
Grandma's Lullaby.
Oh, shoot.
Even though I feel like Littlefoot would be like, hey, can you just like shut up? I'm trying to sleep. Like, your sing talking is not helping.
So we talked about how they talked about the circle of life in the first movie. So like, yes, the concept, they were there first, totally. But like Lion King comes out and like, what was Lion King, a Christmas release or Thanksgiving or something like that? I don't know how it was back then.
Yeah,
but I mean, it is possible that they didn't know when they started production.
Yes.
They I guarantee they probably knew, to be honest. The animation industry is so small. I mean,
That's
if you look
true.
at like Bugs Life and Ants,
Right.
like, these kinds of things, there's a pattern here. Like, I bet they probably knew, and then either they already wrote it was too late, they were like, I just changed the name, or it could have absolutely been a middle finger to Disney, because Disney was just such a beast in the industry. I mean, obviously still is, but the animation industry is so small. I just can't believe that they didn't know. I sometimes know about friend shows, and it's the friend DA thing where they're like, I'm working on this show, don't tell anyone. I'm like, I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna tweet it out.
That's all of our conversations about everything.
Pretty much.
I was trying to make some joke about Bugs Life and Ants and Woody Allen and John Lasseter, and then I just got sad. I don't think there's a joke in there. I think that it was just like, boy.
I think those two are the joke.
Yeah.
The joke is that white men are ants? I don't know.
Bugs. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Ah!
You saved it.
I like that. Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a date with me.
This song continues the tradition of just terrible songs in these movies so far.
Repeating.
Yeah, I gotta play my favorite part. Before we get to that, I just wanted to talk. This was one where it was like, it switches from like she's singing one line, talking the next line, and like it's such an awkward introduction into this song where I was like, they're having like a regular conversation, like, yeah, you should probably go to bed, and then all of a sudden like, and you should lay down your head. And I'm like, oh, fuck, this is a song. She's starting to rhyme. This is a song. Okay, here we go. But there's this insane part in the middle here that Tyler was alluding to. Let me play it for you.
On and on and on it goes, repeating, 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 repeating.
Really, that many times did you edit it?
Okay, I might have added like 3 extra repeats.
Okay, I was like, there's no way.
Now that's what I call songwriting, 1996.
I honestly thought I was losing my mind. I was like, oh my God, it's still going. It's still going. It's still going.
I had to do that because it was just too funny. And then I cut it together and I was like, oh my God, it sounds perfect.
It really, I mean,
It really
because
does.
it just rhymes the same word. The forced songwriting in this one, I am consistently impressed by this series' ability to every single time go out to make a worse song and then succeed every single time. Like it is going to be a race to the bottom.
Okay, so like Leslie Brecuse or Brecuse. I don't know how you say the name.
Yeah.
Anyways, he, has written a ton of cool stuff, like all of Willy Wonka. And Can You Read My Mind? That like put on a wonderful relationship with him and John Williams. They wrote the Home Alone song, the sung one, together. They did the Harry Potter Christmas song this guy is credited on. Lots of amazing things, but I think he kind of phoned it in. I mean, on this movie. Although,
why wouldn't you?
it very like the other two songs are very, very, very like classic. The second one is like a vaudeville kind of.
He rummaged through his drafts folder.
Yep.
Yeah,
like that's what he did.
The last song is very, very like I don't know, like it's like a very Broadway like cheesy older song.
Yeah. I think the last song is the best of the three, but they're not great.
Yeah. But then we get into the whole, amateur kids singing situation, that you're just, you're kind of like twitching, like, oh, that note, it's not quite right,
Yeah.
So I definitely picked up on, like, it's interesting that he was, Sarah's a Willy Wonka kid, so that's interesting that he wrote these Willy Wonka songs. B, I was trying to find, it was amazing how show businessy animation from this period, from the early 90s, late 80s were, of like, Tress MacNeille's in this, as in the previous one, but they're doing all this old Hollywood gags, all this kind of vaudeville stuff. And it made me wonder if that's just the studio system and all these writers that were kicked out of features and they moved to animation, or I didn't realize that the songwriter had he wrote Talk with the Animals, and he wrote some really
Academy
good things.
Award.
It's literally like maybe his daughter was like, yeah, he can do it. And then just went into his office and found some loose papers and handed them over.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm sure all those people have stuff like that where they're just like, not going to work too
Yeah,
hard
the
on
last
this.
song I was hearing definitely licks of pure imagination, for sure, after I read that. But
it's also just such a small circle of the same dudes over and over there. And I just remember when I was in school for animation, I'd be like, man, all of my dude teachers play the ukulele and wear Hawaiian shirts, and I do not understand. And then I would hang out with my friends at Pixar. I'd be like, wait a minute. They're all wearing this exact uniform, which is great. It's not a big deal, but it's a very Sherry, we're all doing the same gags, we're all doing the same music, we're all doing the same jokes in that little circle of the same people. I feel like for a long time I was like, man, a lot of the female painters right now are hardcore Mary Blair fans, and it reflects in their work, and it's just the way of the trend at that time. So.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, after this meeting with the cousins or whatever, I love this line from Littlefoot. He gets real confused about something and asks his grandma a question here.
Grandpa, we're not going to migrate, are we?
We're not gonna migrate, are we?
He said it perfectly. I don't know why.
Yeah, they've been talking about it already for a while.
Yeah.
Why did he elongate that?
Also, they totally migrated in the first movie too, I guess.
Yeah.
So too late. You already did it.
Yeah. There's lead in the water. That's what's happening. They can't remember anything.
Yeah. The grandparents don't recall the first film. That's why they never mentioned the daughter or anything.
Yeah.
Dude.
We've just always been in the valley and it's fine. Why would you want to leave? You can't leave.
Yeah.
But then the grandpa gets sick.
Yeah.
Well, no. First, we meet our new friend, as the trailer said, Allie.
That's right.
Whose color changes wildly throughout this movie. At first, she kind of just looks like Littlefoot, but then depending on the lighting or not, she basically is like hot pink at the end, just in case you didn't know she was a girl.
Yeah.
But it changes so much. But anyway, she's a girl because she's got eyelashes and she's pink.
See? She's not another Littlefoot. She's a girl.
She's a girl. Yeah.
Gross.
And so, yeah, Lindsay, at the beginning of this journey that we're going on for Land Before Time, Eliz set up some questions because we've been doing the show for a while and we have come across some sequel tropes. And we have been guessing about which time, and this was blind, I don't remember what we said. I think we're going to find out at the end, but like, you know, introducing from Problem Child, the female counterpart, or like one of the ones was, when is Spike gonna talk, or whatever it was, and we're like, it's gonna be number 4, it's gonna be number 5. And I think that this movie is actually surprisingly late in introducing this very predictable and problematic character.
So I will count this as like Littlefoot meeting an alternate version of himself who's a girl, but I will not say yet that this counts as the dinosaurs have hit puberty and have crushes yet, because I don't think it gets to that level.
Well,
it definitely is just like, she's here, she's a girl, we're confused, you know, like, I mean,
what about the love montage at the end?
That blew my mind because it made no sense. But I'm going to go ahead and say it was still completely platonic at this point. If anything, what's bubbling up is the tension with Sarah. Okay. But like, I still say that, like, I don't want to count this as this is where they've hit puberty point yet.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think you're right. But
yeah,
Littlefoot will have a little like half-grown in mustache. That's what we're hoping for.
Littlefoot, who has always been the least racist of the group, now discovers that not all long necks are not racist, because Allie is super racist.
Well, no, it makes complete sense of just like all of the other families are like, don't play with anybody, and like it was the dinosaurs are racist.
Yeah, they're all racist. Except for the people in the Great Valley now, I guess.
Yeah. Although, last movie, they still were.
Yeah.
And abusive.
Yeah.
But anyway, Grandpa's sick.
Yeah.
It was just weird to, yet again, have a dinosaur being like, I can't play with a 3-horn. Like, eeks, get me out of here. And I was like,
yeah, we spent 4 movies learning nothing again.
Yeah.
Guys, come on. We've been over this.
We really got to teach these racist kids not to be racist. It's not sticking. Market research says it's not sticking.
Oh, man.
Load up another Land Before Time movie.
Try again.
Yeah, send them back. I do. This is where I have a... Man. So as I was watching this, I was like, wow, this is going to suck. Watching 14 of these because we're watching 4, but then I started watching it as, okay, the animation quality is theatrical. Like there is,
I think it got better, right?
Than a Saturday morning cartoon. Yes, they're not doing the same anthropomorphizing of like the fingers and stuff that was happening in the last one that was driving me insane. But less so. And I was like, okay, is this theatrical level animation being released on VHS 3 episodes at a time? Because this kind of already feels like 3 episodes of like a fancy Saturday morning TV show. This really, like, this is a dinosaur show teaching kids about stuff would be something that I would watch before Batman came on the WB.
Don't they have that? Isn't that called Dino Train?
It was called Dino
Train. Yeah, there is a Dino Train. You're right.
There is a literal dinosaur child's education show, I swear, because I think I watched it.
I bet it deals with racism less.
Yeah. There is also a Land Before Time TV show at some point.
Oh God. I can't. It does seem like somebody cared more though for this one than the last one. I think I don't know, but I think the animation got better, and the fact that they at least tried to hire a known Academy Award winning songwriter.
That alone.
Yeah.
You can see from 1 to 2 to 3, and you're watching 3 and you're like, garbage. And then out of nowhere 4, and you're like, oh, somebody tried. But you can see it in 2, you're like, ooh, that's not as good as the first one. And then 3, you're like, oh my God, it's so bad. And then in 4, you're like, oh, they got a budget.
Yeah. They got a budget.
And I liked, I think the story is better, a little bit better too. Like there's actually like, when the grandpa got sick, I was like, oh, okay. I mean, he could maybe actually die. I don't know, because they have killed off, parental figures in the past. Yeah, actual parents. But I thought that was I thought that was interesting because they're actually pulling at the heartstrings more than like any of the sequels so far.
Right. And so Grandpa's dying, and that's a huge threat. Maybe you don't need a comedic villain, but apparently you do.
You need it for the second episode, not the third episode.
Yeah, there was a part of me like, I don't know, because the villain gets introduced so late in the movie that I was like watching this and I was like, wow, there's not going to be a villain this time. This is great. It's just going to be the kids like dealing with danger in this place. Yeah, a real journey. And then suddenly there's an alligator or something in the cave, and I was like, why?
Is it possible that their intro song was so devastatingly bad that they could never recover as villains in our minds?
It might be.
Yeah,
they're so doofy from the beginning. Like, I mean, a gag that they can't see in front of them is like, okay, I see what you're trying to do there, but like, why this bird?
Yeah,
most accurate dinosaur in this movie.
You guys want to hear some of this terrible song?
Oh my god! I hope you have the line that I want to just.
I want to talk about a line too.
I probably don't.
Maybe it's the same one.
I probably don't, but I'm going to play it. It's called "Who Needs You."
I need you like a hole in the head.
And I need you like a bug in the bed.
You constantly buy the claw that feeds you.
Who needs you, not me? I need you like a pain in the gut.
Oh yeah, and I need you like a kick in the butt. You truly disgrace the race that breeds you. Who needs you, not me?
It's so stereotypical, song like you were saying, Eliz.
It's like a vaudeville or like,
It sounds like it's
if
from
you
a
had told
parody.
me this was like a discarded Cole Porter song or something, yeah.
But it sounds like a parody that like you'd see like some high schoolers put on this like fake like.
Yeah, there's a lot of community theater feeling, and if it was funnier, it could be a Simpsons song. But yeah.
So when it got oh, go ahead.
No, I would say it feels like an inside joke, but not on the inside of it.
Yeah,
it really does.
Do I want to be?
It's okay. So like I'm overanalyzing it more than anyone should ever, right?
Of course.
So she says, "I need you like a bug in the bed," right? And I'm like, bed? Do they have the concept of beds? And then I'm like, okay, maybe I'll be generous. They have like a bed. You can make like a bed of sticks or something, But then when they get to
need a
like
leaf platform,
then they get to I need you like a frost in July or something, and I'm like, okay, no. The Roman calendar did not exist yet. There's no way you could be saying that. Like,
you were explicit about it in the intro. There was no horses.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's so stupid. I always say that I love like these musical anachronisms, like in Mulan, when they have that quote of the 1812 overture, like in the song "A Girl Worth Fighting For," like that. My head explodes, but like this, I'm like, you can't talk about July, but, and then also this song's just terrible. Like they said that the line that Justin played, and they said, "You're a disgrace to the race that breeds you." Then one of the very final lines of the song is like, "No one loves you but the race that breeds you," or something like that. And then there's also a time where they rhyme demeanor with demeanor, 2 lines in a row. There's not even a break in between. It's not like an AB. It's like an AA situation, like something demeanor. And then the next person's like, yeah, blah, 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 demeanor. And I'm like, no, this is bad.
The lyrical crime that I want to point out is how they chose to like, you know what? I want to rhyme disease. And they say, "I need you like I need a disease." And the retort is, "I need you like a sun that will freeze," which is the most just fucking bullshit line in the song.
Yeah. I just like right off the bat was like, the very first thing is like, "I need you like a hole in the head," and I was like, what are the kids supposed to be thinking about that line? I always think like, are they saying like someone's going to shoot him in the face or something? Like what? Like I don't know.
It's like
they're lucky Grandpa wasn't shot in the face and he's just dying slowly.
It's like very clearly written by adults. Like when you're watching cartoons, you're like, yes, adults made this.
Yeah, and
no children had any help
Yeah.
No one consulted a child.
Yeah, God, get a focus group. Like, bring in your grandkids one afternoon.
Yeah, and not even adults, like 60-year-old white dudes.
Yeah.
I mean, that whole song is just going to go over their heads. I can't imagine any kid being like, I need you like a hole in the head after the movie. You imagine this like
and
little...
they just start the song so soon. There is no groundwork laid for the fact of these two or how they work until after the song. And so you're just kind of like, I don't want to hear you sing yet. I don't even know who you are. Like, it's out of control.
It sounds like you might have said that on a date before.
I mean, how did you know? But also, Tress MacNeille is doing her like Mrs. Skinner voice for this alligator. Like, Seymour, you know.
Seymour. Yeah. Oh my God.
It's crazy.
I will say, I mean, we're gonna be jumping ahead here. I like these villains, they suck. I will say that having your villain be killed by a fucking plesiosaur, ace move. I think that works every time.
Yeah, I was like, is that the Loch Ness Monster at the end there?
Yeah, I also wrote down Loch Ness Monster. So wait, a long neck in the water with sharp teeth is a whole nother dinosaur?
Plesiosaurs. It's a whole family.
Yeah, plesiosaur. They're like, what? They're huge.
They're huge.
Yeah, I was kind of like, sharp tooth, long neck? What the
Yeah.
No, it's actually a thing. But yeah,
Okay,
I was like, yeah,
sweet.
like every single time if you get rid of your villain by having them murdered by a plesiosaur.
Any real aquatic dinosaurs is like, ooh.
Yeah. Magic
Spend some
bullet.
time on this. Yeah.
Yeah, like that poor secretary in Jurassic World that died the most violent death.
Haunted me. That haunted me. I was like, that poor woman. She just was trying to do her job and went straight down the gullet of a giant aquatic dinosaur alligator, and that was it. Bye-bye. Like,
Colin Trevorrow hates support staff. That movie solidified that by far.
Yeah. Well, I think
we're in a cave.
I think we have just one character left to talk about.
Oh,
everyone's favorite character, Tickles.
Hey, what about old timey slow turtle?
Oh,
man?
slow
we got
turtle.
we got an old Jewish turtle.
I forgot about that guy. I forgot about him.
I'm sorry. It's just that's what he is.
I don't even remember what he does. When he helps them get out of
He helps them push some rocks around.
Yeah.
And there was big turtles, which is fun.
That's true. I did like seeing the big sea turtle. That was cool.
He hit a little bit. He tries to scare him, and then
he's like, "Oh wait, I have no teeth."
Yeah, and he just had no teeth. He's like, "I couldn't scare anybody. Sorry, kid."
Yeah, it's also Charles. What's his face from the Muppet movie? Doc Hopper.
Oh.
I was kind of wondering, like, if he was supposed to be the same wise dinosaur from the original film, but
that wasn't a turtle. But yeah,
I couldn't
same
remember.
idea.
Couldn't remember what type of dinosaur that was, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh God. Okay. Well, they get separated, and so it forces Allie. Okay. First of all, Allie convinced Littlefoot to go without any of the other people, which was sketchy as F. Like, and strange then that she wasn't like, why was she trying to get him alone? It was so weird. Anyways, they get separated in the cave and the turtle's helping him, and Allie runs back to get all the other friends and drag them into this mess.
Yeah, because the land of the mists is super close by, apparently. She can just run back real quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole point, I don't know if we talked about this, but the whole point that they're going there is because, like, the only thing that will ever cure a dinosaur with this disease is the night flower.
The flower from Rapunzel.
Yeah. And that's, of course, it's back in the mists area.
And then the movie pulls the exact same gag with the egg from the first one, where it's just like the gang is sleeping and they're like, we're already amongst the thing that we're looking for.
I thought
it's
that
right
was
here.
cool, but yeah. I like
They
that.
did look cool once they got
They did.
Yeah, the blossoming of the night flowers.
But yes, okay, so old turtle guy, they leave him behind in the cave. Then we meet the tickler.
The tickler. Yeah, we were talking about how, like, you know, yeah, they make this reference to, like, other animals moved into the trees where we used to eat. And it turns out that they're just a bunch of cute mice, right? Or at least one of them is a cute mouse. And I love that. I think Spike finds him first. And and then he kind of brings.
And there's like a romantic moment. Like it's like like swelling music and then like a push in. Yeah. And then it's like this movie might have some weird interpretations of
and like
evolution.
He introduces the mouse to everybody and Ducky is like, I think we should call him Tickles. And immediately without hesitating or skipping a beat, Littlefoot is like, okay, Tickles, where is the night flower? Tell us where the night, like, he just said that, yeah, why don't we call him Tickles? Okay, Tickles, where's the night flower?
I did like, though, that she did say, like, oh, he's covered in fuzzy tickles instead of saying he has fur, because I'm like, they're not going to know what fur is. So I apprecited that continuity.
We've already established they know what July is. So.
Yeah.
Well, no, only that bird knows, not our friends.
That bird. So the mouse, for whatever reason, is like a real mouse and can't actually speak English like everyone else.
I do like the character design of Tickles, I will say. Like, I remember being like, oh, I hate this guy. He is appealing. Like, I like Tickles. And it goes back to like that they actually like put some effort into this one. Because I feel like if we'd seen Tickles in the previous movie, it'd be like, oh God, it'd be like the rat from Princess Bride or something.
There was, though, I had to laugh at that reused animation moment, because did you see our good friend's cameo, Mr. Eggs, run by in a herd?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
What was that? I was like, okay, wait. What was going on in that moment? Was that like a mass suicide? Dino suicide?
All of a sudden, a herd of eggs guys from the second movie just like ran by, and that was it.
Yeah, but they immediately they run by and then they jump into the river.
So the perspective is weird, right? Like I couldn't even quite tell that it was a river down below, but so there's definitely a precipice, and then so they dodge out of the way, and it looks like that they're all just gonna yeet themselves and kill themselves.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I guess they're in the river. Can they swim? I don't know.
Well, yeah.
How deep is this river?
Yeah, well, the scenes immediately after that are like, Sarah's gonna drown in the river. So I'm like, okay, so did those other guys die too? Like, well, what was that about?
They're just like, it's just been raining for 30 days. I can't deal with it.
I was like, what's going on? Okay, I see why they left the mist now of people just jumping off into the river and killing themselves.
Yeah, it's much grimmer in the mists.
Tyler, are those Deinonychus? What are those called? Is this?
Well, no, it's Gallimimus, right?
Gallimimus.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
But I think that they had like a weird head thing too. So I'm not really sure what was going on with that dinosaur design.
Gallimimus in this universe.
Yeah.
I like to think that it was just so misty there that they didn't see that it was a cliff. They just ran off the edge. I don't know.
So it really is a hellscape here.
Yeah. We can't see where we're going. That would have been a good reason.
Little bit just turns and he's just like, man, I really missed the Great Valley.
So many more eggs there.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, so they get out of the cave, I guess.
Yeah, they're out. They have Tickles. They find the flowers. And then they're going to leave, but then they have this confrontation with the alligator and the bird that causes all this bad stuff to happen.
Yeah.
Sarah falls
it doesn't necessarily even make sense of just they could have just let the villains be like, you're a second act trope. Like, who cares? But they, again, like the same thing, like our eggs buddies from 2. They're just like, we need revenge on this for some reason.
Yeah. And yeah, Sarah falls into the river, and needs to be rescued.
I know, I did think about that. I was like, oh, it's not a tar pit, it's just water.
Yeah, but it's
regular old water.
But it's the same exact sequence again.
And then so what? Allie saves her, and then they're just like, we're friends now. And everyone's like, yay! And then it just fades to blackface in the next scene.
Yeah, their very stilted and non-developed rivalry is unceremoniously wiped away.
Yeah, and then Allie is the one who gets to start the everyone, we need all sorts song, which is kind of like, I don't know. Weren't you like 2 minutes ago being like, I can't hang out with these dinosaurs? And now you're the one who gets to start the song like, we need all sorts. Like, I mean, come on.
Well, yeah, because she makes this stupid speech. She's just like, now I realize it's great to have different kinds of friends. And then she starts the song and you're like, oh.
I don't know.
You learned this lesson a little too quick, lady.
Yeah. I don't think you're fully grasping it.
Yeah, I don't trust you.
Oh, sorry. I forgot to bring up, too, the fact that now they know how to, like, pick a very strong vine, and Ducky is able to yield it like a professional lasso and throw it to Sarah into the water. I was like, whoa, okay. They've been practicing.
You also throw rocks again at multiple times and multiple murder. Like,
that part where they're flinging rocks is so funny because it cuts up to them doing it, and it just looks like super awkward.
Yeah, fuck you.
Because it's like raining down rocks, and in my mind I'm like, how are they throwing that many rocks? I don't know. And then when it cuts up to them, I'm like, okay, yeah, it looks really stupid. Yeah, it just looks like they're like kicking them off the side, and I don't know. It's just very funny looking. Because they can't really throw rocks. Yeah, they can't throw them like that.
It does make me like, it's incredible. And we said this for the first movie of just how much humanity and how much those character designs are just so masterfully done, and everything that they had them do and didn't do in that first movie. And we're just gonna see the bastardization of that over the next 14.
Just imagine the animators all dying a little inside. They're like, we're gonna work on Land Before Time, the fourth one
forever. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I feel like that they're all trying to have that same Don Bluth, like, old dude taking you aside and being like, listen, life's going to be hard, child. Yeah.
Blowing a cigarette
with a shaky hand.
Let me tell you.
But I don't know. I feel like all of these kind of end up coming up short. Except, if you're racist and you want to eat children, a plesiosaur will get you. So that's a lesson, I suppose.
That's right.
There's your moral.
So we got to talk about Ducky's perilous brush with death.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And also how her character gets stretched, like,
oh yeah, that was more horrific than anything that happened later on. I was like, oh no.
I did think that looked really funny. I was like, yikes. There's also that like shot. There's a shot in this of her dead, basically. That one, because she falls into the water, and then they show a shot of her like floating body up on the top of the surface of the water, and I'm like, oh fuck, she drowned. But then she's very quickly alive again. But if you paused it right at that moment, it would look like she died.
That cut to black. Credit.
Yeah, exactly. Ducky died.
Is that your instruction manual on how to traumatize a child? Just like, and that's the end of the movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's the Don Bluth move.
Yeah.
That whole sequence with Ducky in peril builds up to what is definitely the biggest moment in the franchise so far. Here we go.
Ducky! Yep. Spike can talk when he wants to.
That's right. It happened.
I mean, what brings her awake back from death in time is Spike's voice, which she has never heard before, but then later says, I think I heard Spike talk.
Yeah.
Like, for all she knows, it was Tickles.
I'm just...
she's alluding. She's saying, like, when he wants to, and it's like, why have you not mentioned this before?
I just got to say that, first of all, I don't remember when I said that Spike would talk. Maybe I might have said never. I don't know.
This was one of the things that Eliz put on our first episode to be like, when do you think this is going to happen?
We won't know until we dig up the list from the La Brea tar pits.
But I gotta say, one, I'm shocked that it happened so soon, and two, I'm shocked, and it's pretty soon in a 14 films franchise. 4 is pretty soon.
Maybe because they didn't know they were going to make 14. They were like, we're wrapping it at 4.
That's true.
I was shocked that it was a character moment.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
Exactly.
Me too.
Yeah.
I was very shocked and excited that it was like, yeah, it was this big moment and it was built up and it made sense. And it wasn't just like, oh, he talks at the start of the movie or something.
You mean not Beethoven ordering a burger
exactly.
at the drive-thru?
I mean, that was dumb. Christmas movie. Yeah, so I thought it was actually well done. And it's not like after that happens, he goes to being like, hey guys, I can't believe we made it through the mists. He just
the narrator the whole time.
Yeah.
Reveals.
Yeah, it pulls away and he's like, and the time of the great giving went on again.
And that's how I met your mother.
Yeah, that's how.
Yeah.
That's how I met your mother. Tickles is your mother. Yes.
Oh no!
That's what it's implying.
Yeah,
it's implying
Tyler
that they
said there was
fuck.
a romantic moment. Yeah.
That's how humans are made, and horses.
That's how humans
And horses.
are made.
Don't you forget those horses.
A spike tail and a mouse made it, and that's how we got humans.
Basically, the DNA chain for all of the primordial chain for everything.
I'll buy it.
for
I'll
all
buy
of
it.
us.
I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, is it time for a rating system? But I do believe we do have to do a child star check-in this episode.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, though, at the end of the movie, when the narrator's like, "But that's another story," I was like, "Oh God!"
Oh, when they were like, they hoped that they would meet Allie again, and they will, but not this time.
But not
yeah,
this
I was like,
time.
first of all, you took that from Neverending Story. Who did it better? And I don't really care if we ever meet Allie again. To be honest, like
I want Chopper.
Kind of like, when is Chopper coming back?
Yeah.
But Allie, no F's given if we ever see her again. Anyways, okay, so yes, Child Star Check-In. It's time to say goodbye to some of our friends because they will not be returning in the future. So the only person who has been with the series this entire time since the beginning is Candace or Candy Hudson, who was Sarah with her iconic scream and, you know, all those things. And she, you know, was in Full House and the Disney sing-along and some kind of scary movie where she was like a doll that killed people. So she was acting in various things. I'm not quite sure what she's up to now, but she just got on to the convention signing scene like this year. So like, I think maybe like the pandemic, she was like, hey, why the hell not? And there is one video, some dude put, I don't know if he was supposed to or not, but he posted his meet and greet video with her on YouTube, but he only talks about like himself and he asks her about the movies and doesn't ask her anything about what she's doing now. And I was like, that's just crazy. Who would meet a child star and not care about the mundane things they're doing right now? Okay. Like I was very offended that this guy didn't ask her, you know, what her 9 to 5 is. But anyway, she looks great. She's around. She's on the convention scene now, just barely. And she did say in that interview that she kind of just, who knows how true this is, but she said that the movies were getting way too singy. And even though she says she can sing, she says she just wasn't into it anymore.
They're getting way too singy. Yes.
Yeah. And she was like, I mean, I can sing, but they were just getting really musical. And I stayed for 4 and then I was done. So, you know, whatever. But she was very good friends and still is to this day with Scott McAfee, who was our Littlefoot for the last 3 movies, not the first one, but has been for these 3. And he's still a voice actor and an actor. He did a lot of Batman Beyond and Avatar. And he's also very big in the convention world. And then we're also going to say goodbye to second Ducky, who has been Ducky for 2, 3, and 4 after the first Ducky died in that tragic murder. So Heather Hogan has been Ducky for the last 3 movies. Sorry, Lindsay.
Sorry, just to clarify for Lindsay, the child star check-in always involves something awful happening to these people.
Original Ducky met a very, very untimely death.
Yeah, I remember learning that when I was a kid and like talking about it with my parents. My parents were like, "Oh, we just don't talk about that." I was like, "Oh, okay." I don't want to, but I would like to. No, all right, we'll just bottle that away.
In the video that I watched of Candace Hudson, she specifically said that the girl who was Ducky was her best friend when they were little like that. And so I'm like, oh, that's God.
Horrible.
Yeah.
You always find a way to make it sadder.
Okay, sorry. Heather Hogan, replacement Duffy. She's fine. Ducky, not Duffy. The Disney bear. Okay, replacement Ducky's fine. She's been in like every single Final Fantasy voice thing, Soul Calibur, Kingdom Hearts, Dead or Alive, and Nier. I don't know what that is. NIER. But anyways, all those things. I don't know. You guys played Dead or Alive, right?
No, but I did play the Nier games.
Oh, okay. Anyway, she's in those. She's fine. Okay.
Good.
And that's it.
Everybody's fine.
Everybody's fine.
We're all fine.
So we're losing these three. They were real kids when this was being performed. They were the only real kids. And so we'll have to see if they are replaced by other real kids or if they give up and go to adults or what happens. We'll see.
I feel like I get weirdly bummed out and attached when they start, like, they have actual kids doing voices like in like Amazing World of Gumball or Arthur, and you go to the Wikipedia page and you're like, I just want to learn more, and you're like, like you see every couple of seasons it's a new child. And like Gumball, Amazing World of Gumball handles it weirdly well. They make jokes about it throughout. They're like, my voice changed, and that's it. They don't talk about it. But I get like weirdly attached to it. I'm like, oh man, I hope I'm like, it's nice to hear they're doing okay. I'm like, I hope they're well. I hope they're successful.
Yeah. What'd you guys think about the film ending on Grandpa's fat ass? I mean, you saw that, right?
You know what I think of that? I would say, how many of Grandpa's fat asses would you give?
I was like, what's happening with this? Wait, is this the end of the movie? It's like he walks in front of the camera and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it fades to black on his butt, basically. I was like, what?
I won't lie to you guys. When I watched this like a couple years ago, I was fairly high. And I remember the people I watched with were like, is that his ass?
It's just such a weird moment. Like, that was strange. Very strange.
It was so weird.
By the way, they haven't gotten any better at drawing long necks from a front on view. They should just never do that. It's terrifying. Horrifying.
I will honestly say, as good as the animation is in the first one, that it's so upsetting. Even in the first one, you're like, oh my God.
Don't do that.
Yeah. It's a cursed image.
As a kid, I just remember I was like, oh, that's upsetting. And like, if my dad like paused it on that, I'd be like, oh God, please.
That's not right.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I guess I'll have to say, how many mists, plural, would you give?
How many mists?
Land Before Time 4. The Journey Through the Mists.
Oh God.
Is your rating system in any way taking into account how good or bad the previous movies were?
Sometimes.
Because I don't want to play that game where like, in comparison, you know. But
we will say that, like, I gave the last one a 5. I can't. This one can't be better than that.
Yeah.
No. I am gonna go back up because I think I went down to 3 or 4 or something. I want to go back up to 5, which is where I put 2 because
eggs.
I think this one was slightly better.
Eggs.
I don't know. It was bad, but it somehow was better.
There was a hero's journey. It wasn't the same movie 3 times over.
The Night Flowers, Grandpa almost dying. By the way, I don't know how much longer can these grandparents live? I mean,
forever. It's an animated film.
You know exactly how many movies they can
yeah, I hope so, because he's lost enough. By the way, they still haven't dealt with their daughter's death emotionally, you know. But anyway,
we don't talk about that.
I bring that up every week. I'm like, they still haven't dealt with their daughter's death. So yeah, I'm gonna go back up to 5 for some reason, so we have room to, you know, I don't know.
That seems fair. I gave the last 2 3 because I thought they were pretty bad. So I think I'm going to give this one, I'm just to bump it up a little bit to 4 mists out of 10. And I do think this is better. The story feels less like just totally random. And I think that, like I said, the injection of like, you know, some real danger, potentially real danger for the grandpa, and like pulling at that heartstrings, and it feels like a more Yeah, it feels like a better motivation for our characters to be going to do something than like, oh shit, a random meteor happened. Let's go see what it is. And, you know.
A random meteor made of leads poisoning our water and making us forget everything.
Yeah, a random lightning strike burned everything. Yeah. Yeah, I just think it's a slightly better movie. Song is still bad, but there was one okay song. But yeah, I don't know.
I'm going to go 4 mists for all the reasons that you just said, pretty much. I think that it's a better story. There's other stuff that happens, even though the villains suck. They couldn't. I mean, this movie is one of those that could have been 50 minutes. Like, it felt long. It felt very long for an hour and 16 minutes. But better than the last 2 that are just retreads. I guess they introduced the female love interest character in a way that's not super upsetting, but still upsetting. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's all I can really say about it. The animation is of better quality for sure.
Yeah. I'll give it a 4.5 just because the quality of the animation takes such a like upswing from the last 2. You're like,
you get that beautiful tickle shot.
And just like they're like trying, there's like contact shadows and there's like attempts at perspective, and you're like, oh bless, you either had a budget or you spent all the money with the last 3 films made on this film, and that's why it looks slightly better. But yeah, I would say 4.5. Just God, the last 2, oof magoof.
I'm now terrified for the next one if they spent all of the money.
Oh yeah.
I have to say the last one was where I was like, I'm out.
Yes, Lindsay attempted to watch all 14 a few years ago and made it to 5 apparently.
One every week with my husband and I and our 2 close friends. We had nothing to do. They lived a block away from us, and I was like pretty pregnant, and I had no ability to walk. I was just so pregnant. I was like, you guys want to watch them until I give birth? And we made it to 5, and I was like, I'm out. I can't do it.
Oh no.
I'm going to give birth early.
5 is what we have to watch next.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's what we have to look forward to in Land Before Time 5.
Yeah, what is
great.
the next
You're gonna love it.
one?
The next one is called The Land Before Time 5, The Mysterious Island. Whoa.
Oh.
They're going to the beach, you guys.
Are they going to build a boat like their engineering skills?
I hope so.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, we're in a valley, right? Where is there an island here? How big is this valley?
Okay, I want to I want to shoot my shot here and say that the island is really just a giant turtle, a la Never Ending Story, Avatar, all these other things.
That would be too exciting. I feel like, I don't know. All I know is that we're going to make a lot of Lost jokes, so tune in for that.
Yeah, do you think it's going to be like, it's called The Mysterious Island, but I bet that everyone in the movie is going to be like, oh, you got to go to this island, you got to go to this island. So it's like, is it that mysterious if everyone knows about the fucking island? I don't know. We'll see.
You got to be on the right bearing.
That's right.
And here we go. Well, yeah. I guess until next time, Eliz, where can people get in touch with us?
Yeah, you can email us at sequelrights@gmail.com or find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Sequel Rights.
And please rate, review us on Apple Podcast. Give us 5 Golden Knight stars, flowers, if you can. Thank you so much, Lindsay, for being here. It was a blast to talk about this kind of okay movie.
Where can people buy all your stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, you can follow my art and animation Instagram account at Lindsey Lydecker, which is an abbreviation of both my names, as if they weren't hard enough to begin with. But yeah, I currently work full time at an indie game studio, so I'm not peddling my junk and wares at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Somebody's paying me for that.
Nice.
Thank you guys so much for having me. This was so much fun.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
It was super fun. All right. Well, until next time, Justin, do you have a drop to play us out on?
I don't have anything. The only
just play the repeating one.
The only other thing I didn't play was this.
Cousins, who will take me to the night flower?
Not me.
Not I. Not me.
So some random dinosaur in the background's like, not me.
Not me.
Fuck that.
F you
You're on
guys.
your own.
Hell no.
That's Lindsay leaving us at 4 as we head into 5. Like,
Yeah.
who will come with us till 5? Not me.
No, not me. No.
Who would watch this with us? Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's all I got. We hope that you have a repeating week, and we'll see you guys next time for The Land Before Time 5, The Mysterious Island.
It takes all sorts to make a world. Short and tall sorts, large and small sorts, to fill this pretty planet with love and laughter, to make it great to live in tomorrow and the day after.
It takes all types without a doubt. Dumb and wise types, every size types, to do all the things that need to be done.